I'm live, babe. Just on YouTube, though. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've been on YouTube live. Yeah, you have to love it. Like, it's a different vibe, you know? What's that?
Let's try this vibe out.
Yeah, I'm going
That'd
to
be a
use it a
better
lot more.
party than here.
Well, it's not quite going to be as vibrant, but you'll see. Like, right now it's at 0. It'll pick up. I've got over
Yeah, and
5,000
they'll say
people
they
on
missed
here.
you. Oh.
Yeah, look at us. What's up, Turbo Buddy? Hello, YouTube. Welcome to our home here. This is our place, and we're just got back from grocery shopping, and so, a lot's changed since, I've been on here live streaming. Welcome to the pad. So it's pretty cool. We got ourselves a nice little spot out here and away from all the noise of the cities and stuff, but it's a perfect place for me to finish the books and do the coaching and things like that. And we put on the nice relaxing background. You were meditating earlier, weren't you? You were. How did that go?
I mean, turbo caffeine.
Maybe we'll do a meditation tonight, just right here on the couch. We'll put the Alan Watts right there. You want to try it?
Yeah, I don't think I did it properly.
It's okay. It's just practice, so we'll go through it. So this is the office right here. It's pretty sick. My dog, he loves it, But so you're right here in my office, and this is where I do my coaching and writing. This is like the lab, and it's beautiful. You're gonna see during the daytime just how nice it is here, and then a nice big living space, theater where we can watch our TV, but we don't watch a lot of TV, and it's just really nice setup. And things have been going pretty good. So, it's all this comes from the coaching work I do, and I've really developed the methodology. It's a one-session experience that will transform your life, and it's not an exaggeration. It really, I teach people, they will learn every single emotion within their experience of life. See, the difference between my coaching and psychology is I don't deal with the person. The psychology tries to tell you that you're, a product of the past. And that's not really true. Because you're not acting in the past, you're acting in the moment. And so you see, you live in the moment right now. Why does it look like it's the past? Is simply because you have many different unnatural emotions that are coming to you from the fight or flight mechanism. And see, emotions form with reality. And so we take a look at is not you, not your decisions, not your circumstances, but the experience of life around you. Reality, as it occurs to you, is filled with false emotions. You see, emotions are not meant to get stuck on. Most people do not really have the distinction between emotions, thoughts, behaviors. And so, they live very conflicted lives, where you have to fight your emotions. And your emotions often are misleading about the nature of your circumstances. And so when you have reality here, then you have emotions that are wrong because you see, you can feel not good enough and you know that you are. You can feel guilty and you did nothing wrong. You can feel worthless, but you have value. You can feel abandoned and be surrounded by people. And so you see, these recalled emotions improperly characterize reality. But your mind doesn't distinguish these emotions from reality. Your mind experiences reality as these emotions. And for that reason, these emotions dominate you. They dictate to you the nature of the experience of life. And you suppress them, meaning that you can't act on them. You have to step back and go, I got to understand, I got to analyze this. And so as you disconnect from the emotions, you also disconnect from the experience of life and you lose awareness. And see, all the analytical thinking in psychology is merely just subjective talking to yourself. Because you see, there's something very distinct about the experience of life and the understanding of life. You see, the experience of something, you have the experience of it, like apple pie. See, you can experience eating the apple pie, or you can understand the apple pie. Now, all the understanding in the world would never give you the experience, and the experience would not lend you to understand, because you see, I could give a child a slice of apple pie, but that wouldn't teach the child how to make apple pie or even understand where the apple pie came from. But the experience of apple pie is very distinct. I can teach another child how to make an apple pie, how to grow apples, teach them all the ingredients. But you see, all the understanding in the world would never give you the experience of the apple pie. You would never have the experience of the apple pie. And so the experience and the understanding of something are two different things, separate and not even close to being the same. And so you see, the experience of riding a bicycle is independent of understanding bicycles. And you could teach somebody everything you want to know about bicycles, the brain, the body. It would not give you the experience of being able to ride it, like the experience of walking. Like you learned how to walk without any knowledge about it. You didn't have to learn about the bones in your foot. You didn't have to learn about your muscles. You don't have to learn about the central nervous system. You don't have to learn about how the brain and the ear works to conduct balance. And so there is no necessity to understand how to walk, when it comes to science. And see, that's where psychology goes wrong, because psychology has you analyzing people. And the only thing you get from analyzing yourself is an explanation. And that's all you usually want, because what do you do with the explanation? You use it. You use it to reduce the expectations of people upon you, that you want people to sign off on what's wrong with you so that you can feel acceptance from them, because you're worried about your ability to perform in any given task or duty or relationship. And so psychology can only label things. You see, you can call someone a narcissist, you can call their new relationship a supply, you can call your confusion cognitive dissonance. I can call my steak protein, I can call the potatoes complex carbohydrates, and I can call orange juice liquid antioxidant solution. Now, did relabeling my dinner, did it change the experience of it? No. Understanding my steak has protein did not change the experience of the steak. You see, emotions are part of the experience of life. See, animals have emotions, they experience. And they experience life, they experience death, but they do not understand life or death. They don't understand it. They experience it. You see, they can't understand it. My dog does not know that humping a golden retriever is going to make babies. He doesn't know that. He doesn't know that eating nurtures his body. He doesn't understand that. He eats because he's hungry. He humps because he's horny. He runs because he's afraid. And so emotions are to motivate, to contextualize animal experience to create behaviors. And so emotions have to be accurate. If I gave your emotions to any animal, they would die. They would be too afraid of failure. They can't talk themselves into going to work or eating, so they wouldn't hunt. They wouldn't want to embarrass themselves and fail. They wouldn't risk rejection to try to mate. See, human beings have an inverse relationship to attractiveness, that the more attractive a person is to you, the more afraid you are, the more inhibited you are. Animals, the opposite. And see, animals have emotions that have to be accurate, must be accurate, or they die. If a gazelle goes up to a lion and says, "Are you my daddy?" because the gazelle feels an abandonment anxiety from this predator, that would not be good. But that's what a human being will do. That you will do things and have to fight things that you know are bad for you, and you have to talk yourself into things that are good for you. Because you have stuck emotions, and stuck emotions devastate you. Because as you look at reality through a stuck emotion, it seems like reality is contributing to the emotion, when the emotion is simply redefining reality. That means that when you're heartbroken and you feel devastated, you will look at a happy couple and versus rubbing it in your face. You'll look at your high, hey, this used to make me happy, and now you feel unhappier. And so you see, emotions for animals are temporary, like colors. You see, an emotion is a sensation, just a feeling. It's information. It's a sensory experience that's part of the sensory experience of reality. That reality is just a sensory experience to you, it's an extension of you. Your body, you're just connected to it through sensations only. That the experience of life is purely illusion because all you have is a visual experience, some emotional sensations, and that's it. But you see, you live in this delusion that you as a person are some segregated phenomenon from reality, when the entire architecture of reality, according to you, is you. And since you live obsessed with your own feelings that you have to hide, that you can't act on your feelings, you'll get fired, you'll get arrested, you'll be imprisoned, or you'll go to a mental institution. And so you have to hide your anger and act nice just to survive. That you live your entire life dominated by your emotions, only existing to fix them. That is it. And you disconnect from them and they run your life. And so when you drive to work, you get there, you don't even know how you got there most days. You just show up. And then you have a whole relationship, and then you just wonder how this happened. And then you don't even know the person next to you because you don't even have correct emotions to describe the experience of being around the person because you're too busy avoiding abandonment, feeling not good enough, trying to make someone else happy so that you can see their happiness and feel safe from abandonment. And you call that happiness. And so you're never happy, you're never really fulfilled because you actually live thinking that you need to be perfect. You need to be perfect so that you could be good enough. And since you're not perfect, you're never good enough. And so no matter what you achieve, you just sit there feeling empty and you just keep chasing the carrot of fixing and changing yourself. And everything you do to try to become good enough proves that you're not to yourself. You validate that you're not good enough as the only motivational instrument for the entire architecture of what you call reality. That you live to prove yourself, fix yourself, overcome yourself. You want to achieve just enough to avoid failure and abandonment. And that's it, you're hierarchical because you're so incomplete, because you're so afraid that every single decision you make is pretty much predetermined, because you only have a couple options. And why would you have a couple options? Because your mind is constrained in fear, fight or flight, a rock and a hard place, used or discarded. That's your choice. And you'll just choose used until you get discarded. And then the whole thing has to reset again because now you're betrayed. And every time you experience betrayal, it's just the eradication of the someday future that you're living into. A fantasy world. You have to create fantasies so that you can set goals. And your goals are all about making your fantasies come true. So that you can be immune to the devaluation that stimulates everything you do, that you would not even know what to do if it wasn't for feeling not good enough because you're not even used to peace. You've never had peace. Your mind chatters away, involuntary intrusive thoughts, catalyzed by involuntary intrusive emotions. And the vast majority of everything you ever will feel emotionally as a modern person is an affliction, is a fight or flight reaction that's causing all of your health issues, that is causing you to ruminate, is causing you to repeat yourself like an NPC. Yeah. Love bombing, devaluation, discard sound familiar? Of course it does, because that's you. Avoiding abandonment, lying through your teeth, pretending that your analysis has something to do with reality. You don't even have any handle on reality. That's why you're always confused. You walk around confused, looking for somebody to replace your own mind for. Like you need somebody to help you think, you need somebody to help you feel. You need somebody to be there so you're not alone and not abandoned. You need somebody to validate everything you do because you're that incomplete. That everything that you call an emotional need is the opposite of every single one of your reactionary triggers. Love is the antidote to your abandonment anxiety. Success is the antidote to your fear of failure. And you fear disappointing people like you fear death. You fear abandonment like you fear death. There's no such thing as abandonment. You can't get abandoned as an adult. Are you wearing diapers? Are you in a conservatorship relationship? Well, why would you feel abandoned then? Oh, because your fight or flight system has attached you to somebody else as a validation source, and your hypervigilance that you developed trying to be perfect for your parents was all about you becoming good enough to avoid abandonment. And since you need to be perfect to be good enough, and you can't be perfect, you can't become good enough. And so you're trying to fix something that isn't real by becoming something that is impossible. And so you don't even have awareness of that because you have no emotional awareness because you spent your whole entire adult life avoiding every single emotion so that you can act in a completely inauthentic way that is no different than any other narcissist. And the only difference between you and a narcissist is the direction of the narcissistic injury. Oh, you attacked yourself. If you spent any time feeling abandoned, after a relationship, your betrayal was just the loss of a future, the yellow brick road to your fantasy, what you attached to fix yourself. That you idealize other people so that you can induct them into the fantasy future to offset the suffering of your day to day existence and meaningless life as you run on the treadmill in place trying to pay off debt and taxes, making billionaires by financing your entire life away. And that's why the Bible said a fool and their money are soon parted. And now I live in a sea of victims. Everybody's a victim. Everybody's the victim. Everybody's abandoned, an abandoned victim. And that's it. Presuming that these afflicted emotions have something to do with the world. And they don't. And so if you never let go of I'm not good enough, broken, something's wrong with me, if you never let go of the inauthentic emotions that dominate every single thing you do, you will be lost for the rest of your life. And there will be no cure in psychology. There are no amount of pills because it takes a real victim to be dissatisfied right now. A real victim. I mean, we're not talking about saber-tooth tigers. Like, you have leather seats, cruise controls, Flintstone fucking vitamins. You got raised on sugar cereal cartoons. You got everything you need, like passport, like doctors that you can endlessly talk to about your childhood like a fucking victim, dating apps. You can deep fry every fucking animal. Uber Eats will drop off anything you want right the fuck now, and you can't be happy with that. It's are we there yet? Buy it fucking now. Constant comparison to other people, never feeling good enough. Botox in your face, lip fillers, breast implants, augment this, augment that, change this, fix that. And you're just a consumer running in place, selling your entire soul for a fucking hierarchy. A hierarchy. It's the most pathetic thing that you could ever be, is a nothingness. Just an empty person running in place to try to prove yourself to who? Your mommy and daddy? You didn't get enough toys? You didn't get enough love? What kind of Scientology childhood did you expect that you're supposed to have? Like, your genetics made it through Tyrannosaurus rexes, ice ages, and here you are. You couldn't even handle a dating application. It's a shameful existence, entirely shameful. To be a social codependent, cowering, blaming the government, blaming billionaires, it's your fault. You're irresponsible, negligent, and dishonest. You know exactly what's happening and you don't like it, so you feign confusion. And you're so afraid of things that aren't even real. Like when you fear disappointment, like you fear death, when you fear being judged, like you fear death, when you fear separating from somebody, like you fear death, when you fear embarrassment, when embarrassment is just fear itself. It is just the catastrophic effects of the fight or flight on your psyche, collapsing you into a paralyzed child that can't even think or talk as you sit there and recall the emotions of a single moment where you dissociated from yourself and felt betrayed as your world turned upside down. And a new reality dawned upon you, one where you're deficient, not good enough, something's wrong. You need to be perfect from your mom and your dad. You were scared of them, terrified. And so you never felt good enough. And that's why you blame them. You blame them for what you made up about yourself. That the origin story of the ego is the very first time a child has fight or flight and they notice the changes to themselves. They go, something's wrong with me. And the observation of every single emotional state that's brought into being by the amygdala, the fight or flight itself, is perceived as the cause of what's wrong with me. And so you inverted a fight or flight reaction against yourself instead of objectifying an external threat You're the external threat. And so that's why you need external validation, because the external threat is the reflection of your deficiency. And so you look to other people to gauge your relative security, whether you're good enough or not, whether you belong or not, whether you matter or not. Every single fucking interaction you will ever have is a probe to discover yourself over and over and over. A reactionary dynamic, a involuntary reflex of the mind that collapses your consciousness into anxiety and validates the very underlying emotions that are trapped as fight or flight reactions. And so you fear failure, you give yourself anxiety about the potential of a future failure, and you approach that future failure the same way an early human might approach a bear cave, nervous. And then you just react based on the outcome. And so you become a not good enough. If your teacher did not give you an A, it's so tough. And nothing you do is ever good enough because it's not perfect. And since you can't ever become perfect, you'll never be lovable, you'll never be good enough, you'll never escape the anxiety, and you live in a delusion that someday you will. Someday, once you get to the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, that's what you're chasing, the yellow brick road. And the Wizard of Oz is the voice in your mind condemning you as you fight yourself, pretending none of that is happening as you say you're fine while ordering coffee, judging yourself every single moment of your life, trying to determine whether you're good enough for this, good enough for that, so you can preemptively avoid failure by becoming the failure by default. Avoiding rejection makes you a reject. Avoiding abandonment makes you abandoned by staying in a toxic cycle or avoiding relationships altogether. So everything that you're avoiding internally, you're also avoiding externally, and that will dominate your life until you become self-aware, if you have the courage. Because your ego will tell you it's dangerous to let go. No, it's dangerous to hold on. Because you're unprotected in fear. Your mind doesn't work. You don't know who's who. You can't tell. And it's not other people that you don't trust, it's yourself. It's yourself. Like if you need to trust somebody else or don't trust them, that just means that you don't have any discernment, that you can't tell who's who. So since you don't trust yourself, you depend on them. So it's up to them whether you're happy. Because of course you're so understanding, you say. You see the good in people, you say. That's called cognitive dissonance and lying to yourself. That's idealization. Borderlines do that. Everybody does it, seeing the good in other people. Seeing the good in other people, huh? How'd that work out last time? Somebody smiled, you saw the good in them? Right. So you saw the good in them and you held on to it as if it was real because you needed it to be real so you could be safe. Because you don't want to be with the bad person. They'll abandon you, they'll hurt you, they'll reject you. And so as you pretend it's a good person who treats you really bad, you try to understand why they do that. So you make excuses and explanations. And then you get discarded. It's like, I was nice. I did everything that they want. I said, yeah. Well, you dropped the soap, that's all. Don't go to prison and tell people you're a people pleaser. It makes you happy to make them happy. Not going to go well. And that you're very understanding. My cellmate's just traumatized. He didn't mean it. I see the good in him. Yeah. You can't say no. You're conflict avoidant. That just turns your life into one giant shit show because you don't handle business. You don't handle shit. You're too scared, too afraid of everything. You see, you don't see it that way because you just justify your cowardice. That's all. You can't do this, can't do that. You say you can't because you don't want to and you're lazy. And you're lazy because you have force fields around you, just procrastinating everything because you're just so self-significant. You think it's all about you? Yeah. Everything's about you being good enough. And so you put all this undue pressure on your psyche and you keep yourself in fight or flight all the time. Well, you see, that's what it's actually like for you. And so you have to let some things go. You just need to know what that is. And you don't know because you haven't done the work. So you have no distinction between reality and these malformed emotions. And that's why you walk so confused. Reality's here, these wrong emotions there, your thoughts fighting these emotions, and then your behavior concealing all of that. And so you act completely pretentiously, like you're a complete phony. You cannot call a narcissist a false self. You're also a false self. Oh, you're mad? Of course you are. That's what a false self is. Mad at the truth all the time because you make things up. You're a belief system. That's about it. A bunch of dogmas. No reality whatsoever. That's why you keep faltering, failing, collapsing, getting abandoned, betrayed, rejected. You can't even function, barely function. You need a job title, a description, a roadmap. You need somebody else to do all the work for you. So you could just sit in a cubicle because you can't think for yourself because you're totally indoctrinated as an ego. You're drinking the Kool-Aid. And so, you know, there's not a lot of originality in somebody trying to fix change themselves by buying things and dressing up like other people. So, how would you let it go? You'd have to know what you're letting go of. You think that you're a belief, a narrative. You think that you're what you say you are, what you understand yourself to be. Well, you're not. You're the total sum of whatever you're experiencing. And if you want to break through in that experience, you should probably reach out because you could just have that happen in one conversation with me. I can walk you through your whole subconscious and introduce you to every single reactionary emotion and then teach you that you don't even have to analyze that. That you're so afraid of your emotions because you're such a driven perfectionist that you can never get there. And so your emotions represent weakness to you, represent the something that you think's wrong with you, that psychology thinks is damaged. How could you damage an emotion? An emotion is but a sensation. Right? There's no emotions have no embodiment. They use neurotransmitters, sure, but so does every other neuron in your body. And so you don't have emotional damage, you just have emotions you don't like. And these emotions just repeat arbitrarily, but you can't tell the difference between reality and these emotions. And so it's very confusing, very contradictory. You have to fight yourself just to function, fighting your own emotions all the time, fighting them, trying to convince yourself of things that oppose the emotions, but you don't even know who you are. You're a yo yo. Like one moment you're not good enough, the next moment you're good enough, the next moment you're betrayed and abandoned, the next moment you're disrespected, and you're hiding all of this all the time, just suppressing it so that you can just fake it till you make it. Yeah, you think that once you buy enough stuff, once you get that promotion, once you buy the house, once you get it's just endless, unfulfillable malarkey. And so, as long as you're going to walk around talking to yourself, totally dissociating yourself from reality by disconnecting from your emotions, disconnecting from reality, staying in a fight or flight conundrum, you're just going to walk in circles. You might as well have rabies. I mean, what's really going on? You're just going to repeat this forever? You're just going to avoid abandonment by attaching yourself to people? You're just going to prove yourself? You got to heal. Oh, healing. You think you're healing. Healing is a euphemism for ignorant suffering. It's horseshit. You're not fucking healing. You're talking to yourself and you're full of shit. Healing my ass. You know what would heal you is if I just slapped you with 10 grand. You just wake up right out of your abandonment. If I opened up a briefcase, said, here's 100 grand, oh, you're fucking healed real quick. You jump right out of a fucking wheelchair, right out of that abandonment, right there. Just, let's go, Nate, right to the strip club. The fuck you talking about? Healed. Fucking slap you, just slap you some motherfucking hundreds. Just fucking just slap you. Just fucking grab a stack and just fucking bitch. Just fucking slap. Fucking healed just like that. You're one love bombing away from fully fucking healed. What the fuck you talking about? Healed. There's no such thing as healed. That is a delusion. That is part of your fantasy future bullshit. You will get to the end of your life and you will never have healed anything. Healing is just feeling better. That's it. That's all it is. Untriggered. That's it. So, what's up, guys? Hey, what's going on? Did I coach you? I did. Hey, are you allowed? Can you talk? Uh, My day's going good. I'm just here because my TikTok, but it's all good. I want to come back here anyway. It's a lot less toxic. Did anybody get anything out of this rant? Yeah. Uh, when did we? Wait. Hmm. But anyway, thanks for being here. I'm gonna go ahead and get out. Thanks for saying hi.